Hiya besties and welcome to another video on my channel. I kind of spent the entire first month of this year cleaning, organising and getting started on my de-stashing efforts that I've got going this year, aka using up yarn and wool that's been sitting for too long in my stash. But the one part of my crafting that I haven't really downsized yet or touched really is the amount of projects I've got going on. So today it is time for another one of my highly requested, much anticipated installments of how many projects can I finish in 24 hours. Ooh, this is gonna be so much fun. This is one of my favorite videos to film and edit. But you may be wondering what's on my list of things to do this time. Let me tell you. My pastel Sophie Shawl, my pink Ranunculus, the pink spin that we started in my last video last week, and then we got a couple of things that are kind of up in the air a little bit. I have my Wild Horses sweater that also needs sleeves, and if we do this we're gonna do some steeking. And I have a cross stitch project that I really want to get somewhere with. I don't think this is going to be able to be finished in this video, but I could get a chunk done. So we shall see how much time we have and what we can fit into this video. Hopefully all of it. Again, I don't think the cross stitch will be finished, but I think we can get somewhere with it. So fingers crossed. So yeah, here's where I do my little disclaimer though. I will be using the timer on my phone to log my time worked until I reach 24 hours. I love challenges like these, and I always recommend trying it if it sounds like something that would help you get stuff done or you just think it sounds fun. However, please do not work for 24 hours straight. Use your timer and work over as many days as you need, okay? Take care of your mental and physical health, bestie. Stretch those fingies. It's not good for anyone to get in a crafting crunch for that long. So yeah, please stay safe, okay? Okay, great. Now, you go ahead and grab a project and maybe something to snack on, maybe a little drinky, and we'll get started with our projects. Let's go. So, the first step to getting stuff done is deciding in what end of things to start. This time I have a few things to choose from, like we talked about in the intro. I think I want to go in the order of least work to most work. So I think we're going to be landing on the Ranunculus to be our first project for the day. We just need to add the sleeves to this one, and since it's knit on very big needles with pretty thick yarn, I think this will be done in just a matter of hours. Gotta love a quick trip to Sleeve Island, right? I started this project back in November for a video on the channel, and I have been slowly plugging away at it since then. I don't know why it's taken me so long. Maybe there's been a part of my brain going, save it for a future challenge video. And maybe I have been listening to that. I don't know. But either way, here we are today, and I am really excited to pick this back up again. I want to do full length sleeves. My first Ranunculus was a tee, and while I love it, I also really love a good long sleeve. So this one I want to make real cozy. What's not cozy though is the cable I have on these needles. Since I have a bunch of projects going, all of my loose cables are busy, except for this one. It's a very old Knit Picks one, I think, and it's just a hard plasticky nightmare. Impossible to get to straighten out. I have been utterly spoiled by modern memory-free cables, I fear. This was honestly doing my head in, so I made an executive decision and swapped over to my Sophie Shawl, because that is where the cable I want is hiding. I mean, I could have just put the shawl on a spare needle or waste yarn for now and borrowed the cable, but I am also running very low on my pink yarn, so I need to put the sweater to the side anyway. So I ordered some more of the pink yarn and went on to work on my shawl. This yarn is a handspun merino baby llama and rose fibre yarn with a fractal rainbow design that I made in a video many years ago now. Back then I mainly did knitting podcast videos, but it's kind of funny, this yarn was one of my first adventures into making project videos, which is obviously what I prefer doing, as well. Just imagine me now gesturing vaguely toward my current channel. I don't dislike knitting podcasts, but I much prefer doing this, as I get to be creative in all aspects of the video work. But anyway, Shawl. This was also a recent video on the channel where we kind of dove into audience opinions on the Sophie patterns, and besties, that video was so much fun to put together. I have a couple more patterns lined up I want to make similar videos of very soon, but if you have one in mind you'd like to see me try or review and talk about, or do an audience opinion or even a drama deep dive on, please pause the video right now and go put it in the comments. I am very open to suggestions for these, but either way, I like this project. It was a very easy one to pick back up again. I know in the Sophie video I did talk a lot about the constant counting of rows being a bit of a bother, but for this one I had already made it past the midpoint of the shawl, so I just needed to decrease my way down the other side of the shawl. Also, OMG, I kind of have to address this. We're in full-on pajama mode today, which is something I quite often am, and I kind of want to apologize for it a little bit. I do have a few chronic illnesses, which makes it hard for me to tolerate wearing actual not soft clothes for extended periods of time without pain flare-ups and such. And when I'm in the filming part of my video work, I film literally from when I get up to when I go to bed for multiple days. So that's pretty extended if you ask me. But that's part of my goal to sew more clothes for this year. It would mean I could actually make clothes in soft materials that look like real clothes and are actually made to fit my body. But also for this specific video I actually had a cold for the entirety of the project working period, so we're in extra pajama mode this time because, oh my goodness, I have been under the weather. I still am, and you can probably hear that from my voice in this video. Sorry about that as well. But anyway, back to the shawl. We're kind of flying through the rows now as they're going faster and faster the more we decrease, but can we talk about the yarn for a second? This is my first time knitting any of my fractal spun yarns. I love spinning fractals, but I've been kind of scared to use them as I didn't know how it would behave color-wise. But this is coming out so cool. It's mild, it's stripy, it's faded, it's rainbowy. I love it. I wish I had made more of this way back in the day, because imagine weaving with it. Not that I own a loom, but still, imagine weaving a scarf with it. I think we'd have ended up with some sort of nice plaid-like pattern. Maybe this is a project for future me, once I have a modern spinning wheel and a table loom. A girl can dream, right? Another thing that was clearly just a dream I was chasing is a shawl that has two identical ends. I don't know if I weighed the yarn wrong or my scale is inaccurate, but I ended up losing yarn chicken in the pink end of the shawl and had to bind it off into a little blunt end. And since this is hand spun, I don't have any more of it, but that's okay. It's still a really lovely shawl and I am happy with it. But speaking of hand spun, I want to finish my pink spin next. It is all spun into singles, so today it is time to ply the yarn. Since I unlocked a good way of chain plying last week, I want to really make sure that what I did sticks in my brain and muscle memory, so I will be chain plying this yarn. So yeah, not a lot else to say here, then let's get going. Plying is generally pretty quick, at least compared to spinning. Don't get me wrong, spinning is a thoroughly enjoyable experience for me. I tend to do it sporadically though, and a lot in one go. It's just one of those things. My wool stash is still super duper full, and I will likely work on some more spinning videos very soon, but speaking of soon, we very quickly fill the first bobbin. Isn't this yarn just so pretty? It's giving marshmallow. Anyway, on to the next bobbin. And that's both of them all plied. unskein. I absolutely love how this yarn came out. Oh my goodness, this will have to become something super special. I love how I just used up one pastel rainbow only to add another one with pastel almost rainbow vibes back into the yarn stash, but sue me, I have a type, okay? Anyway, hi bestie, we are gonna go on a little side quest because I got some mail. So let's pause the timer and open this up, shall we? The lovely people at CuteBee sent me a set to try out. They specialise in book nooks and miniature shop dioramas, and here today we have a little tea shop. Look at how cute this is. I am so excited. So yeah, this is going to be a little side quest, like I said, so I will keep the timer paused for this because I don't feel like rushing it. I've never done anything like this before. I've built other miniature things like Warhammer, but I've never done anything like this. So I don't want to rush it. I don't want to timer it. I just want to vibe and have fun. So yeah. Let's open this and try it out. Also, if this is something you would like to try at some point, I have a link in my video description, and there is also a discount code for you on screen right now, as well as next to the link in the description for 15% off your order in case you want to try out a miniature kit for yourself. Thank you so much to CuteBee for sending me this kit to try out. Now, let's actually get to trying out the kit. Let's have a look at what we have. The box says this comes with an LED light and is all wooden. Opening up the kit, we first have a little bag labelled accessories. Then we have our actual pieces, all on wooden sprue. We also have some parchment paper, which I assume is for the Shoji screen doors, and also some stickers, and of course our instruction manual. I'll read this through before starting, but we will definitely also need this throughout the entire process of building our kit. I want to check that I have everything, so let's open the accessory bag. We have some clear stickers, a small file, and our battery LED light. Before starting, I'll check to make sure the light works, which yes, it definitely does. Awesome, then we can get to building. I will take care to follow the instructions precisely. It's tempting to pop all of the pieces out at once, but that would get really confusing really fast, so I will only be popping out the pieces I'm about to build. We are starting small by putting together two little Zaisu chairs. We'll be building a tea room today, so these chairs and our table with tea will be central to the build. These kits are full of little details. I'll be putting together some shelves next to display some books and decorations. I discovered pretty early in my building process that filing the connection points from where the pieces were attached to the sprue was really helpful and definitely worth doing. Do not skip this step. The books are so tiny and so cute, right? I'll clear down the book in the middle at a later point, but OMG, this is already so adorable. I then pieced together the rest of the shelves, including the decorations. They are all attached to the shelves, so you won't have to worry about them falling over later. Now it's time to start working on the structure of our little house. We are starting with a tatami floor and attaching our chairs and shelves to it before finally placing down the table. Now it's time to work on our first shoji screen. I'll cut out the pieces I need. A lot of the pieces have extras, by the way, in case you accidentally break or lose a small part. Then I'll glue the parchment in place to the corresponding wall piece. I used this all-round uhu glue at first. I might have missed this information in the booklet, so this might be use rarer, but I would have appreciated a note on what glue to use. This one normally works well for different surfaces, but it ended up drying real badly for these pieces. Later on, I switched to tacky glue and that worked a lot better. Of course, our orange quality control inspector has to have a look. And so far, so good, according to him. But on we go. I'm having a lot of fun. While the glue dries, I'm gonna work on the rest of the walls. This big one is the back piece of the building. On the inside we've placed a wall scroll, and on the back side we have a sort of handle or lock. This is a tab that can later be opened for access to the battery box. Speaking of battery box, let's start mounting the electrical components. This has a touch button, so I will mount the touch sensor on the back of this on-off sign. Then I'll add the ceiling to the wall piece and do some cable management as well as mounting the light. Now we can piece everything we have so far together. Honestly, I am amazed. This is looking so good so far. Let's try the light. Whoa, that's bright. Awesome. Anyway, now let's make some sliding doors. I love that these are actual sliding doors. It's all the little details, I just adore that. Next we add our front of the building. The front involves more shoji screens, and this time I'm going directly for the tacky glue. And I know you're supposed to wait for a couple of hours for the glue to fully dry, but bestie, I have been really good with following instructions, finding my pieces and waiting for the first round of glue to dry. Let me cut this one corner. The screens have stayed in place anyway. It's time for a few more little details around the outside of the house, like little plants, rush seats and yeta. But we're kind of missing something. We're missing a roof, so let's add that. And now for the final few pieces, we're adding some ground around the house. We have a little pond, some stepping stones, and of course some more plants in our garden. Now, the very last thing to add is the whole entire house. It was a little bit tricky to get onto the pegs it rests on, but eventually I got it to stick. And oh my goodness, I can't believe we just built a whole house. How cute is this? Honestly, there are so many great little details, and I am once again so thrilled the doors actually open and close. Or slide, as it were. This was a thoroughly great experience to get to try, so thank you again to CuteBee for sending me this kit. I have of course linked it in the description in case you are interested. But now bestie, we have a yarn delivery. This is not a collab or sponsor, it's just the yarn I ordered earlier to be able to finish my sweater. So let's get back onto Sleeve Island, my friends, and let's get the ranunculus finished. Also now we have our shorter cable available, so this is going to be a lot faster than it was earlier in the video. I feel a little bit silly knitting with almost the exact same yarn as I'm wearing. They are the same yarn base but slightly different colorways. But honestly, I love this shade of pink, so I might want to add a few more sweaters in this yarn and colour to my wardrobe, not gonna lie. After a while of knitting, it is time for a try on. I think I want a couple more centimeters in the sleeve, then I'll do a row of decreases and a short cuff. I am not doing what the pattern said to do. My sleeve is about double that length at this point, but I want to have this in my sweater rotation, so I'm only going to make choices I'll want to actually wear. But can I just say I'm incredibly excited about this one. The cuff has been finished, and now I will do a quick little Italian bind off. It's my go-to lately. And then we get to do it all over again, yay! I must speed knit this one. Actually, let's pause and take one tiny second to appreciate how the light falls through the fabric here. I just had to share this moment. I find it really, really beautiful. Now, because we already saw me knit an entire sleeve, let's enjoy cheddar for a moment while I work my editing magic, because bam! Finished sweater. Let's block it. and now we only have to wait for it to dry. Perfect time to work on another project. I'm feeling unicorn sweater, and we're starting this one in a bit of an unexpected way today. We are ripping back. So I thought we were going to just go to a bit of a longer sleeve island vacation with this one, but I have been struggling just a little bit with the fit on this one. I am not a huge fan of when patterns base their overall sizing on bust measurement. Mine is usually one size larger than the rest of my upper body, so this one has turned out pretty wide and also pretty long. So I am ripping back what I did for the hem, which is by the way also different from the pattern, and I'll be binding this off higher up in the pattern. The pattern says to do a bottom cuff, not ribbing, with horizontal stripes in double knitting, and I don't know that I feel like I want that. Since my sweater is already wider than I would like it, I'm going to save it by cropping it slightly. In my case, this means 2 entire pattern repeats shorter than the pattern calls for, and also I'm plain skipping the cuff. Instead, I'm ripping back that last repeat's length to then split front and back for a split hem. I'm also going to be humouring my inner 2012 Tumblr girl and making it slightly high-low with half a repeat extra in the back. Maybe I will come to regret this decision, but if that happens, I guess I will just rip back and re-knit the hem for the back eventually. I am also doing an I-cord edge in the sides. This of course involved knitting colour work back and forth instead of in the round, but just like with my ranunculus, I want to make decisions I want to wear, so this will hopefully be worth it in the end. Since this is stockinette, it will want to curl up. I will try to counteract this by making a few rows of seed stitch in the bottom. Now this will of course flip up as well, but hopefully it will later stay in place with blocking. Otherwise I'll think of a solution later. But that's both the front and the back all knit and bound off. Now we will get to the steeking. So let's grab the sewing machine. This will actually be baby's first steeking adventure, and I'm really excited about it. I have 5 steeking stitches, so I'll sew down the middle of the first 2 columns, leave the middle one unsewn, and then sew the last 2 as well. The last one is left unsewn because that's where we'll cut into the fabric. And you know what this was not? Dramatic. Zero drama. Absolutely zero drama. And now we have armholes. So let's pick up stitches and start on our sleeve. It's the same chart as in the body, so it's going to be pretty mindless knitting for me, which I am very excited about. But now I feel we need to actually put this to the side after a quick try on. As you can see, we have a pretty wide sweater going on, but it's also pretty stiff since it's obviously not been blocked yet. We shall see how it behaves once it is. If needed, I will modify again, but I think it will be fine. Anyway, I have one more thing I want to work on today. The goat cross stitch. This is a pattern by the Stitch Crypt. I saw this on Instagram a while back and just knew I needed to stitch this. Today, I want to work through a couple colours in the chart. I definitely will not finish this today, but will at least have some progress. This one is definitely a project where I'm working toward a goal I know I will love, but the process has so far not been the most thrilling. This is largely due to me choosing to start with the darkest colours. It is a motif with lots of dark colours though, and I kind of wanted to get those out of the way if that makes sense. But I did decide to give myself a break and go for one of the lighter colours next. And that definitely helped my motivation, honestly, but I know after this project I'm going to have to stitch something that's very bright and very pink as a bit of a palette cleanser. After finishing the beige, I went on to a medium brownish mauvish shade, and I think this is going to be the final shade we're working on today. It's a lot of stitches in a lot of similar colours, so it's probably hard for you to see what I'm doing. It's kind of hard for me to see what I'm doing. I don't want to sound like I'm having a go at the pattern. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it, but it's just very intense, and I am once again down with a cold and struggling to focus. But we are getting somewhere with this, and it is starting to look like something, and that is very, very exciting. But yeah, that's this colour finished, and that's also us kind of at time. I do want to show you one thing before we recap though. the Ranunculus. It's finished blocking and oh my gosh, I love it. The sleeves came out the perfect length and I love the drape on it. So yeah, I just wanted to show this one real quick. Now let's have a chat. So this did not go exactly as planned this time around, but hey besties, we got stuff done and I couldn't be more thrilled. We did finish a couple of things and we did solve a couple of problems and we built an entire house. I feel like while I did get a bunch of stuff done, I was definitely not as effective as I normally am in these challenges due to the fact that I had a cold. I'm finally starting to come out of it properly now, but that doesn't really help us at this point. So anyway, what did we do? What did we do today? Let's have a quick little recap. The Ranunculus is finished, as you can see, because I'm wearing it. I honestly love this top so much. If you watched my Ranunculus video back in November when I posted that, you know that I started as not a hater, but not really a fan. I just never had any interest in knitting this pattern at all because the cover image version of the sweater doesn't look great in my opinion. It doesn't tell me much about what the pattern is actually going to look like and if it's going to look like the picture on the front of the pattern. It's not a sweater I want. But I like to try things before I say yuck. I have been enlightened, bestie. I genuinely love it. It's a quick knit, it's cute, it's very cozy. I knit the smaller size for this one as well. And as we discussed in the video, I modded the sleeves so they are full length. I'm totally gonna weigh the sweater to see just how much yarn I used because I wanna go order some more of this yarn in another color because I want more of these. But maybe the next one I'll make maybe 3 or 4 centimeters longer in the body. We'll see. But the long sleeves, super cozy, love it. We also finished the pink spin. This is also something I am so happy with. It still needs a good soak and a thwack before going in the stash, but it'll take a while for this to dry, so I wanted to save that for after finishing filming for this video, so I'll go soak this after. But it did turn out super duper cute, and the fluff had some hidden parts with like more pastels in it than the pink and yellow that was really visible when I picked it up, and I love that. I absolutely love that. But yeah, we did this, we finished this. But speaking of pastels, I also finished my Sophie Shawl, and this I am really happy with as well. I will be honest, knitting this has not quite turned me into a fan the same way knitting the Ranunculus turned me into a Ranunculus fan. I'm not a fangirl of the Sophie patterns so far, but I like this shawl. I really enjoy this shawl. It's cute, super cute, and I will definitely get use out of this one. It's a nice little size. I did end up having to bind off earlier in the pattern than I was supposed to, but that's okay. It's a good little size actually. It's honestly more of a scarf than a shawl, but I like it. I'm very happy with this and I will totally get a ton of use out of this one. This one also needs a soak, just like the yarn, but just like the yarn also, I'll do that after the video. I'm also super happy with how this yarn knit up. It turned out so good with how the colours play together. I love it. I absolutely love it. But anyway, the Wild Horses sweater. I don't know, bestie. We'll see how this turns out with the bottom. Don't get me wrong, I love these yarns. I absolutely love these yarns, and I do love the chart. I really like the pattern. I love the yoke part. It's really pretty. I really enjoy it. But fit-wise, I'm undecided so far if I like it. But I will knit the sleeves and I will block it before deciding if I'm gonna do something else with the bottom hem. I don't know, we might change it, but it might also work out. I might have to add a little bit of stock in it and sew up on the back side to add like a little hem of sorts. I don't know, we shall see. But yeah, I think blocking will help it immensely because it'll just drape. Now it's very stiff and it doesn't look that good. But also cutting the armholes and starting a sleeve really helped shape it as well. But yeah. I am undecided when it comes to the shape of this. But I also had, speaking of cutting the armholes, I had a lot of fun trying out the steeking. It feels really weird to put your knits through the sewing machine, but that part of it was really easy, and then cutting the stitches, it was kind of satisfying, honestly. I have another project on my needles that we didn't work on today in this video, but we will probably work on in another video. But anyway, that also involves steeking. It's a cardigan, a steeked front. So now I'm super motivated to work my way through that pattern as well, so we can steek that one, so I can cut it open. I'm very excited to do that. But maybe Tom Daly is right. Maybe you cannot spell steek without spelling eek, but it's a positive eek, like in eek. This is fun. We got the sleeve started, and we also did some sweater surgery, and so I am still happy. I have a goal to finish this one before the end of February. We shall see how that goes. We also have the little goat cross stitch, of course. This one is probably going to take me a while. Like I mentioned earlier, this is more of a product than a process thing for me, because all of these dark colours are just not the most fun to work with, honestly, but it's turning out really good. I am very excited to finish this and display it over on my art wall. So I will keep working on it when I feel like it, and I will share my progress on here when I can. I did end up starting on the black floss here in the back leg after wrapping up filming for the video, and I'm gonna be using a lot of that black floss in this one, so it's gonna take a while. Next time you see it, it's gonna look totally different. And then the last project we worked on, actually right in the middle of the video, but still, the little house. This was really fun to work on. I would definitely consider building more book nooks and little miniatures in the future, because this was really enjoyable. It turned out really good too, and I'm just so happy with it. Like I mentioned when I made the house, I have posted a link in the description along with the discount code in case you also want to build a book nook or miniature house. So yeah, thank you once again to CuteBee for sending me this kit to try out today. But yeah, that's a recap. We worked on some things. Now, how about you? What did you snack on? What did you work on? Did you finish something today? Or if not, what's the next thing you think you'll finish? Let me know in a comment down below. And if you don't feel like talking, that's totally fine too. Drop some stars or sparkle emojis and I will sparkle right back at you. Also, while you are down in the comments, please also take a teeny tiny second to like the video if you liked it, as that helps me out a ton. Thank you. And if you're new here, hi, hello and welcome. I'm so happy to see you here today. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you are new and you'd like to keep seeing what I get up to here on the channel in the future with my videos, please consider clicking the subscribe button down below and also ring the little bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. We also have a Discord open for subscribers to the channel, and we also have memberships open on the channel in case you want to leave some extra support for me and what I do on here. I have of course linked all the patterns I've worked on today in the bottom of my video description, so if you see something you like today, please go and check that out. Also in the description you can find links to my socials and also my shop on Ravelry and Ko-fi for patterns and stitch markers and some other things. So yeah, but bestie, this has been a lot of talking, so I'm gonna let you go and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all so very much for watching today. You guys take care now, and I will see you again very soon in my next video. Bye!